so hard to do what you really, really desperately want in life. It's so much easier just to do you don't care either way about.
Wow.
It finally happened. Cate Blanchett just detonated a truth bomb on Blake Lively, and she didn't even blink. Calm. Classy. Ruthless. Blake's PR armor cracked the second Cate spoke, and trust me, it was long overdue. Blake's reign of backdoor sabotage and silent intimidation? Yeah, it's collapsing faster than her last box office opening. And this time, it's not about influencers or petty brand deals, it's Cate Blanchett, the queen of subtle power. Exposing how Blake hijacked her decade-long Chanel legacy and dragged her husband into the wreckage just to inflate her own image. This wasn't just another aesthetic Instagram stunt. This was Lively treating an actual icon like background noise in her own legacy. And no shade, but we're talking about Cate Blanchett, a woman known for raw talent and depth, not curated lemon lighting and lifestyle filter feeds.
Being attractive doesn't preclude being intelligent.
Cate was the face of Chanel for over a decade, and she didn't need thirsty kitchen photo shoots or fake deep captions to prove her worth. She brought real gravitas. Real loyalty. In 2020, her husband Andrew Upton even wrote a silent black and white short for Chanel, a wordless film. Emotional and elegant, featuring two women whose story was told through pure expression. Chanel backed it. Cate embodied it. Until Blake torched it. Just 2 weeks before filming, Cate got a cold, clinical email from Chanel, creative alignment is no longer in place. Translation? You're out. No warning, no reason, just gone. And like clockwork, Blake Lively was announced as the new face of the exact same campaign.
What is your moral compass? Where does kindness and humanity sit in a brutal world? Because those are important questions to ask right now.
In my vagina.
This wasn't a collaboration. It wasn't a handoff. It was a replacement. Cate was out, the film was shelved, and Andrew Upton's script, months in the making, was tossed like yesterday's press release. In its place, a glossy Frankenstein of Chanel x Netflix x Blake Lively's wellness brand. Cate's quiet, layered storytelling was replaced by filtered flat lays, recycled buzzwords, and empowerment quotes so empty they might as well have been printed on a juice bottle. The industry didn't flinch. Because in Hollywood, when legacy gets bulldozed for something younger, louder, and more clickable, they call it reinvention. But this wasn't reinvention. It was erasure of Cate, of Andrew's work, of a creative vision already in motion. And when people started scratching beneath the branded veneer, the truth got messier. An anonymous stylist admitted Blake was never the original choice. Her team swooped in later with a multi-brand package that Chanel just couldn't resist. So no, it wasn't about art. It was about clout, dollars, and Instagram reach, but the final gut punch? A private dinner hosted by Chanel at a French chateau. Cate had RSVP'd months before, back when she was the campaign. Everyone assumed she'd cancel. She didn't. She showed up. No scene. No drama. Just poised, silent dignity. Meanwhile, Blake sat center stage like she just invented empowerment. And somewhere between the truffle risotto and legacy toasts, she allegedly quipped that script was beautiful, but a little outdated, right? Someone near her laughed and replied, wait, that was her husband's script? Legacy doesn't really sell to Gen Z anyway.
My husband, Andrew Upton and I ran the Sydney Theatre Company he ran it for 10 years almost, and this is the culmination, this is the last play he programmed.
And all of this? It happened while Cate was in the room. 2 tables away. Sitting in silence as her husband's script was dismissed as outdated. Watching the campaign she helped shape, years of elegance, intention, and emotional storytelling, get rebranded into a youth-obsessed aesthetic project with zero credit to the people who built it. She didn't speak. She didn't flinch. Because when you know what's happening is beneath you, you don't argue, you let the cheapness speak for itself. Days later, the new campaign dropped. Blake was everywhere. She became the new voice of Chanel overnight. No mention of Cate. No nod to the legacy she cultivated. Just Blake, front and center, armed with perfectly rehearsed charm and hollow one-liners about empowerment. And somehow, the media applauded like it was progress. You'd think that dinner would have been the peak of the drama. You'd be wrong. Because Blake's PR tornado hadn't even hit full speed yet. On April 16, 2023, Chanel's whole clean girl meets corporate erasure house of cards collapsed, and not because someone wore flats on a red carpet. A British fashion magazine accidentally dropped a bombshell. They published a feature clearly intended for Cate's original Chanel campaign, before the ghosting, before the silent film got scrapped, before Blake's filtered takeover hit the feeds, and here's the kicker, it wasn't even scandalous. On purpose. It was just honest. That was the problem. The piece, published at 9 a.m. London time, read like any classic fashion feature. But the details? Brutal. It named Andrew Upton as the screenwriter. Described the film's tone, minimalist. Black and white, emotionally raw. It painted Cate not just as a face, but as a creative architect of the project. And worst of all, it nailed the timeline. The article confirmed filming was set for March. That Cate had been attached since 2020. This wasn't a pivot. It was a replacement. A full-scale PR swap. 3 hours later, the article vanished. Scrubbed like it never existed. But this is the internet. Did the Chanel PR team really think no one would notice? The screenshots were already on Reddit before Chanel even had a chance to delete the post. It exploded within minutes. Side-by-side comparisons began circulating instantly, Cate's original campaign versus Blake's revamped version. The phrasing, the color schemes, even the closing line, everything was suspiciously similar. This wasn't a reimagining. It was copy-paste PR with a new actress. Reddit didn't just notice, it went to war. A user from Archive Watch posted receipts with the caption, "So Chanel deleted this because it didn't match Blake's rollout." This is not a rebrand, it's a replacement. That post alone hit 14K upvotes in under 6 hours. TikTok picked up the scent and lost its mind. Within a day, 6 creators dropped comparison videos. One viral TikTok showed a split screen, Cate in her past Chanel campaigns on one side, Blake in the new footage on the other. The caption read, "This is how you rewrite someone else's legacy." It racked up over 2 million views in 2 days, and to be clear, this wasn't just teenage drama. People went forensic. They dug up contracts, PR memos, marketing schedules. A fashion YouTuber named Redlippers Reels uploaded a takedown video titled "The Chanel Campaign Blake Lively Doesn't Want You to Know About." At one point, she read from the deleted article and literally paused mid-sentence to say, they didn't even change the structure. Chanel's digital team scrambled. They launched a full-scale cleanup operation, wiping metadata, clearing cached versions, erasing digital footprints. Within 2 days, the article had vanished from Google's cache. Journalists who reached out were met with dead air. One editor from The Cut tweeted, "Tried getting a comment from Chanel re the deleted article. Got nothing but static. Deafening." That was the word one editor used. And honestly, that silence screamed louder than any press release ever could. Because the second that article vanished, the truth didn't just leak, it roared. Cate wasn't swapped out for creative reasons. She was erased. And Chanel's digital vanishing act all but confirmed it. While Blake's team scrambled to do damage control with stage tape walks and overly airbrushed promos, Cate Blanchett was working on something else entirely. Not a podcast. Not a moody sit-down interview with dramatic lighting. No, Cate went back to what she does best, art. Painful, cutting, surgical art. In June 2023, just 2 months after the article was scrubbed, Cate and Andrew Upton quietly launched a surprise play at the Sydney Theatre Company. No red carpet. No Netflix special. Just a minimal black box listing and a low-key announcement, written by Andrew, directed by Cate. The plot? A woman loses control of her narrative. A younger woman steps in, rewrites the story, and convinces everyone it was hers from the start. Sound familiar? Originally titled Lines That Weren't Meant to Be Read, the play was renamed after one preview. Only 400 people saw opening night, no press, no critics, just hardcore theater nerds and a few emotionally unstable fashion interns. But someone recorded a 1-minute clip from the third act and dropped it on Reddit the next morning. That's all it took. In the clip, Cate's character locks eyes with her rival and delivers the line that detonated the internet: "The worst part isn't that you took it. It's that you convinced them it was always yours." And now when they applaud, I'm clapping too, because I don't even recognize what they're praising anymore. The quote spread like wildfire. TikTok, Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, it was everywhere within hours. Fashion Twitter reposted it with captions like, "This isn't fiction. This is a confession." One viral TikTok paired it with footage from Blake's Chanel campaign and simply read, "She's not acting. She's telling you what happened." It crossed 5 million views in under a week, but here's the thing, Cate didn't need press. She didn't need to clap back. She didn't need the internet to fight her battle. She just needed the truth to bleed through the art. And she did it with such surgical precision that audiences didn't even realize they were watching a revenge monologue until the echo of it was already stuck in their heads. By mid-July 2023, the glossy illusion Blake Lively's team had so desperately been clinging to finally collapsed, like a flimsy pop-up tent in a windstorm. And this time, the cracks weren't hidden behind velvet curtains. They were live, public, and leaking. It started with one email. A single leak from inside Blake's own PR team, dropped into a Discord server devoted to marketing drama. The email, dated July 10th, came from Blake's senior brand manager. Near the bottom, in bold, sat the sentence that set the internet ablaze. "If Cate's going to go the art revenge route, we'll need to elevate the language around Blake's arc, shift messaging to creative reclamation."